Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. I apologize. I I rebooted my computer and my mic would not work. It wouldn't connect, and I didn't know what was happening. So, hopefully you could hear me. If you could give me a thumbs up and let me know if you could hear me, that would be really, really awesome. I am not sure what happened here. With my mic. Yeah, so if you could give me a thumbs up. I see a couple of you guys in the chat. I hope you're hearing me. uh Thumbs up, guys. Let me know if you are hearing me. I'm not seeing anybody, so I don't. Oh, okay, you hear me. Okay, great. So I'm about to say, oh no. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you, Karen M and Coswell One and Joan Commonwealth. And thank you guys for letting me know you can hear me. Thank you. But welcome, my friends. Hope you are having a great day, nice and bright and sunny. Finally, we have some sun back in New York. Thank goodness. Whew, last few days of rain was a little much. So, anyways, welcome. Hi, Noel Thandu joining us from South Africa. Hello. And again, apologies for the late notice. Now that my mic is working, I am very happy. So, my goodness, what is happening? Well, as you can see from this photo, I absolutely love this girl boss photo of Serena Williams. I'm like, I gotta use this as Forbes cover of Serena, as you know. Serena is, now that she's transitioned, as she called it, from tennis, she's transitioned into full time doing her venture capital thing, business that she's doing, very successful. Obviously, multi-millionaire, probably billionaire from tennis, now doing her own business, very much apart from her husband, who is a billionaire on his own or millionaire on his own. So they're doing their thing. And so by now, I'm assuming you and everyone should know that Serena and Prince Harry are going to be teaming up again. I don't know, and I'm hoping that their session is together, but they're going to be doing the deal book. We'll get to that in a second. They're going to be doing the New York Times Deal Book Seminar coming up on December 4th. So, but I just love this photo. The last time we saw Prince Harry and Serena doing something, actually, they were at the ESPYs together because Serena was hosting the ESPYs a few months ago, and Prince Harry obviously was honored with the Pat Tillman Award, and they were there in the lots of photos. And I guess I could have brought those photos over. But the last time they were doing any kind of seminar thing was in 2021, as you can see the insert photo at the bottom, for Better Up. And so they did a Better Up thing. And of course, Serena and Prince Harry are great friends. Prince Harry is kind of like a mentor through Better Up for Serena. They talked about that a little bit and all the great advice that she gets from Prince Harry. They actually talked about sitting on the grass at Prince Harry's house, chatting for hours about whatever it is she was planning to do and when she was planning to transition out of tennis. And so, yeah, so Prince Harry and Serena are going to be together December 4th, which is coming up like next week. Yeah, it's already the 25th. And so the following week there, we'll see Serena and Prince Harry with the deal book. And so this came up and they announced it today, of course. I love how Harry and Meghan roll with everything. It just like pops up. Nobody has advance notice on anything. So let me just move my little brand at the bottom there. Hang on. Oh, at the top there. Hang on one second. Just move that out of the way there. Yeah. So anyways, oh, if you have not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. Please like and share the video. Please join the channel if you can. I was so crazy trying to get this to work. I forgot to put my banner on at the bottom there and everything. Today is a mess, but it's okay. It's Wednesday. It's Monday, and Mondays are messy. So there you go. Come to the messy place of Facts and Two Cents. But New York Times put this out today. The 2024 Deal Book Summit is next week. Join Andrew Sorkin, who is the host, on December 4th as he interviews, and one of the people that he's going to interview, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos, former President Bill Clinton, Alex Cooper, Sundar Pichai, Jerome Powell, Serena Williams, and Prince Harry, and more. There's a whole bunch of folks there. And if you want to know who these people are, some of them we know, obviously, some of them we don't know. For example, OpenAI, I didn't know that was Sam Altman. Okay. We all know Jeff Bezos is with Amazon, Bill Clinton, former president, and also now with the Clinton Foundation. We saw Prince Harry do their seminar at the UN when the UN General Assembly thing when he did in September. We saw Prince Harry speaking there with them. Obviously, we know Serena, we know Prince Harry. Some of the others we may not know, but so there's a little bit about who they are on the side there. So take a look. And also, I'm going to link it in the community page if I remember. Sometimes I don't remember, but if you're an ex, it's all over because the squatties have been posting it out. And so it says the New York Times today unveiled a lineup of interviewees for the 2024 Deal Book Summit on December 4th at Jazz Lincoln Center in New York City. This live journalism event will be hosted by Andrew Ross Sorkin, Times columnist and Deal Book founder and editor at large, and will feature a wide-ranging discussion of the most important stories across business, politics, and culture. So that's what to expect from it. I don't have a time. I'm sure they'll post it. I'm assuming there'll be a link for a live stream. I am assuming. So we'll keep our ears open. And if that comes up, I will post it in our community page, and hopefully we can all be a part of listening, watching, however. So that is really cool. Again, that's coming up on December 4th. And well, we await the time. And so, yeah. And these are who, now we saw their names. If you want to see what they look like, this is them right there. And of course, we have Prince Harry and Serena over there. I don't know who it is that posts, and I'm assuming it's from Megria, who put the pink box around Serena and Prince Harry, but you know who they are focused on and who we are focused on. So thank you, Migra, for that. It's like, yeah, you know who we are. You know what we'd be interested in. Harry and Serena, of course. Prince Harry and Serena will join the global leaders in New York on December 4th at Deal Book Summit to discuss impactful societal change. And so again, yes, of course, Jazz at Lincoln Center is in New York. And so, yes. Whether Harry will be in New York, I have no idea. If he's going to be in New York or via link from California, who knows? We will see a little bit of a conflict there in scheduling. So we'll talk about that in a second. But we saw Meghan in 2021 do Deal Book, and here she is with Andrew Ross-Sorkin. This actually was a really cool conversation. We talked about it at length, and this is her with her coach or mentor Melody Hobson, and it says on Tuesday, the Duchess of Sussex joined the New York Times Deal Book Online Summit celebrating the 20th anniversary of Deal Book. Meghan joined a conversation with Melody Hopkins, CEO and president of Ariel Investment, called Minding the Gap, which focused on how women can reach economic and professional parity. And so Melody, obviously, amazing woman. If you've listened to Archetypes, she is on, I think the episode is, the Mad Black Woman. I think that's what the episode was called, or the B Word. I think it's the B Word episode that Melody Hopkins was on. I think it was the B Word episode. And so, yeah, so Melody Hopkins was there. Wonderful conversation. Amazing woman. You could totally see why why she is Meghan's mentor. And so they were doing that in 2021. If we remember, it was the same time they were here for the event at, what was the event? At the Intrepid. Yeah, so they were there at the this was the event at the Intrepid. They were here for that, and she did the Deal Book. And so that Intrepid event, when she was wearing that red dress, which she I guess altered and wore recently at the Children's Hospital of LA. So Very cool. Uh, so Meghan did that. So Harry, Meghan did that in 2021. So Harry's now following suit, and he's going to be doing it underfoot. So very exciting. Um, very, very exciting for that. But the thing is, December 4th, Harry and Meghan are already scheduled to be doing this. Tyler Perry honors, the Paley Center honors Tyler Perry. It says the Paley Center of Media announced today that it will honor visionary actor, director, producer, studio owner, and philanthropist Tyler Perry on its highly anticipated gala in Los Angeles, the Paley Honors. And so, as you can see at the bottom there in the photo on the bottom right there, they obviously there's going to be a lot of people there like Whoopi Goldberg, Taraji P. Henson, Gayle King is going to be there. Also, Meghan's mentor, Melody Hobson, and her husband George Lucas. Yes, that's the film producer George Lucas, who's Melody's husband. Ted Sarandos, who is the head of Netflix, and also Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, Meghan the Duchess of Sussex, who was going to be there. And so this was in July, I think they put this out. And so look at the date, same date. So it's going to be next week as well on the same day at the Beverly Wilshire in LA. So I'm assuming Harry's going to be calling in via video link, just as Melody Hobson did with Meghan, because when Meghan was in New York and she did the New York Times, the Deal Book seminar, Meghan was in New York, but Melody was, I guess, California or wherever she was. I think she was in San Francisco at the time. So she joined via video link. So I'm assuming if Harry is going and he's still going to, I can't imagine him not being there for Tyler after all of that Tyler has done for him and Meghan. So I can't imagine him not being there. So I'm assuming he is going to be via video link, or maybe he is going to New York and just Meghan will be there and she does a honor Tyler for both of them. Both can be true. So again, we've seen them split up their workload, and one's taking care of one thing and the other taking care of the other, but we'll see what they decided to do. Either way is fine. But I personally would love for them both to be there, because again, Tyler has been there for them, and gosh, he rescued them when they first got here after all that mess in the UK. So I can't imagine Harry not being there, but we will see. They're grown people, can make their own decisions. So we will see. But I know as a squaddie, we just want to see them together honoring Tyler. I know most squaddies will, but again, they're grown people that can make their own decisions. So we'll see what they'll decide to do. So yeah. Terry says, I remember he was crushing so hard on Meghan. That's right. I forgot that. Oh my gosh. Yes. And yes, it was him, this dude. He was. You could tell he was so infatuated by Meghan. Andrew Ross Sorkin, you were definite. It's like, dude, she's a married woman. And her husband was in New York too. You don't do that. But he was crushing hard on Meghan. You could tell. He talked to I think he mentioned something about when Meghan comes in a room that she lights up the room, and you can see his eyes, and it was like, dude. Thank you so much, Terry, for reminding me of that. That's so true. That is so true. Very funny. But anyways, again, on December 4th, much to look forward to. Either them separate on these events, or they do it together and it'll be awesome. So either way, we get to see Serena and Harry, and then we get to see Meghan at the end of the day. So that's awesome. So very, very cool. What else is going on in the world? Well, talk about Meghan. Highbrow Hippie is, and this is a note to anybody who is invested in any company that Meghan invests in. Please, please, please do some research and look at the kind of response these companies get when people find out Meghan is invested. One of the things that happened with all of these companies is the amount of orders that just descend on poor independent companies. And then they pull their hair out trying to figure out how to fill all of these orders because everybody wants what Meghan is selling. And poor Highbrow Hippie has just been hit with the same thing, unfortunately, and some negativity that goes along with anything that Meghan touches. So Highbrow Hippie posted this with the music of Dolly Parton 9 to 5. I feel their pain. It says Highbrow Hippie posted this on their Instagram. They say, wow. It's been officially 10 days since we launched Highbrow Hippie Hair Care and Wellness. And to be honest, we don't even know where to start. I could imagine. First and foremost, thank you to everyone, not only for your orders, but for your patience. When it's with clients when not with clients at the atelier, our small but mighty team have been working around the clock to fill orders as fast as we can. We have to admit, we had no idea what to expect when we launched. Note to everybody who Meghan is connected with. Do your research and find out the response to other companies that Meghan is attached to. Do your research so you're a little bit more prepared. Anyway, this says we have to admit we had no idea what to expect when we launched. Who does? And the reality is that we are a small business that was hit with months worth of orders in just the first 4 days. Throw in a fully booked holiday schedule of doing hair at the atelier and lots of frustrated emails, RE, or lack of international shipping. We promise it's coming. Yeah, that should be in place. A disappointing amount of mean-spirited emails from another country. I don't think we have to guess what country that is. And they quote, in quote, says, serious question. Are y'all okay? Seriously, UK. Are y'all okay over there? And it goes on to say, and a few more wild, unexpected curveballs. And this first week and a half was not for the weak. We are finally beginning to see the light of day under the mountain of order. I cannot read anymore. We're finally beginning to see the light of day under a mountain of orders. And we have our incredible team and our mailman, Vincent, to thank for that. Everyone has chipped in and has worked day and night with grace, selflessness, and of course, humor. Some of our investors even jumped in on the assembly line. We are filled with gratitude for them and for all of you as we enter this week of Thanksgiving. And that's Vincent at the bottom there, their mailman, with a whole truckload of Highbrow Hippie stuff he's mailing out. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of their investors that jumped in to help out was Meghan. I would not be surprised at all. But again, it's the same. We saw the same thing with Clever when people found out Clever. We saw the same thing with the jeans company that people find out with the jeans. Any of these companies that Meghan is attached with, they just get overrun with orders. So note to anyone else that Meghan invested, do your research about what happens, especially the first week and the first month or 2 months or whatever, of the overloading of orders that come in, because again, everyone wants to what Meghan has. And so poor Highbrow Hippie. I mean, but it's a wonderful problem to have. They have amazing amount of orders. They had months worth of orders in 4 days. So they are rolling in the dough. They are doing great. But again, small business. Do some research, guys. It's just like poor. But then again, it's so disappointing to see, as you can see in the highlights, the disappointing amount of mean-spirited emails from another country. And if you're a squatty, obviously you do not have to ask what that country is, because we know it's coming from the UK. And it just And I'm glad they're like, are y'all okay over there? Because no, they're not okay. These people are, it's a reason why we say we call it Shutter Island. It's like they belong in mental institutions. So, but again, it's a totally great problem to have. Thank you, Mailman Vincent, who get. And again, all of these clips are from a video they posted on their Instagram account. So go over there and check it out, of them trying to get all this stuff together and their small team. And as they said, a small but mighty team is just the same thing that happened to Clever. When people found out that Meghan is invested in Clever, oh my goodness, poor Clever team. So yeah, Terry says, "Me too, Petal. But Meghan probably pitched in to help. Let them stay mad on that island. Seriously, like seriously, let them stay mad." But yeah, if I'm telling you, it just Claudia's like, yeah, Meghan had to help out. I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised. She, whoever the investor is not featured in the video that they posted, but I would assume they wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, it's really great, and I'm so happy for them. And so guys, get your international shipping ready, because many in that same Shutter Island wants to try the products, and they want to, many of them are nasty people, so they want to post nasty stuff on the internet. It's what they would do. But many others, will benefit from your product, and not just in Shutter Island, but in other places. Again, Meghan has fans around the world, and many around the world need your product. So yeah, but I'm so happy for them. I'm so happy for them, and see what they're doing. And again, that's the impact of our fave. That is the impact of our fave. So yeah. Khadijah says, there is no one in the royal family who works as hard as Harry and Meghan. Well, we can't really call what they do work. So I mean, you just can't. They don't. I mean, they show up to things, as we talk about all the times. Harry and Meghan don't just show up to things. They are usually a part of putting together. They are the investors. They are involved in the organization or the people in some way. They don't just show up to things to look pretty and to, so that they can write in the court circular that they did an engagement. That's not how they roll. So yeah. But again, huge congrats to Highbrow Hippie. I know the first month or whatever would be crazy, but at some point they'll get it all together and be able to function while they do hair and pack up boxes to mail. And talking about Meghan and those people on that island who should be in an asylum, Barbara Taylor Bradford, she passed away, and I guess today she passed away. Best-selling novelist Barbara Taylor Bradford dies, and it's so funny. I've known about her for such a long time, because I did see The Woman of Substance. I think it was like a movie or a docu-series or something. But I remember years and years and years ago seeing it, and it was like, wow, really impressed and really loved it. And then, of course, we learned, what was it, a couple of years ago, that Barbara Taylor Bradford is a royalist. And, well, according to the Richard Eden from the Daily Mail, Meghan, according to Barbara Taylor Bradford, Meghan came to Britain thinking she would be the star. But we already have one. She's called the Queen, says a Woman of Substance writer, Barbara Taylor Bradford. And that's the kind of attitude these people have. Like, they have no idea. They've never met Meghan, but they just assume that Meghan came there trying to be the queen. She thought she was going to be the star and the queen of everything. And, they have a way of being nasty and find a way to put Meghan down. It's like, oh no, we already have one. She's called the Queen. And so anyway, Barbara Taylor Bradford was one of those, as we've seen many of them are. So, but anyway, she passed away recently. That's that on that. Moving on to another wench, Camilla. I don't know if you guys saw it, and I mentioned the last time, I think the last episode, that I wanted to see it. Normally, I don't even pay attention to these documentaries, but it was Channel 4, and they're the ones that did the Dispatches docu-series on Charles and William basically fleecing the UK people, their UK taxpayers, out of so much money via charging these ridiculous rents to the military and the NHS and all of that stuff. And so even though I know, and I mentioned at the time, that they just sort of, and it happens in so many of the outlets in the British press, they give with one hand and take with the other. And I even mentioned the same thing, and it's exactly what happened here. Because after the incredibly investigation that they did with over, I think they said 50,000 documents or something they had to go through to get all this information to do that documentary, detailing, I mean, incredible detail of the finances of the duchy and what they do to completely rip off taxpayers, and especially organizations as well that they are patrons of, including cancer charity. The investigation was so detailed that for them to do a documentary like Camilla is just, I'm like, yeesh. I it's just like, and it's so funny because the Guardian this is what they had to say. I guess a little bit of the review from the Guardian. It says, does anyone really care about a documentary charting Camilla's rise from jolly schoolgirl to Diana's nemesis, then queen? Channel 4 does, judging by this tedious filmsy show. I cannot tell you who this program is for, why anyone thought it was necessary, and what it was doing on Channel 4, which is, again, my question as well. What was it doing on Channel 4 in particular? But it happens a lot, sweeping the cutting room floor and putting scraps of things together to make a new program that is as old as time. I guess it's cheap. But does cheap always have to be dull and pointless, and always about the royals or aristocrats, and always about stuff that has only just happened to them? Stuff that we all remember because it happened almost literally yesterday? Well, a little longer, but it feels like yesterday, a lot of it. That time is neither obscure or yet lent an air of mystery to. I mean, what really is the point? And that's a question for this documentary. Like, what was the point of this documentary? Because there was literally no investigation involved. Again, when you compare to the king, the prince, and their secret millions, there was literally no investigation at all. They literally cleaned up the editing floor, get scraps of videos and literally scraps of people, many of them who said the same thing on other documentaries, brought them in. Most of them were Camilla's friends, and and sort of slapped together a documentary, which is, look, again, I watched it because it was Channel 4. If this was on ITV or what, I wouldn't even bother. I would not even bother. And even though, against my better judgment, again, I was hoping that something new would come out of it. I was hoping that something that we haven't heard before, something, or some people we haven't seen before. But it's literally the same people. They just literally took clips from other documentaries, for example, or other interviews. That's all they did. And then brought in like the likes. When I saw Angela Levin, and I was like, okay, this is just not going to be very good at all. Angela Levin and Robert Jobson were part of it. And you're like, I cannot believe this is coming from the same channel that produced The King, the Prince, and the Secret Billions. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So what I believe happened, because I remember this documentary was supposed to come out a while ago, even before the expose on Charles and William. This documentary, and I could be wrong, but I think this one is the one that was supposed to come out a while ago and they held it back. And it's almost like they're like, okay, well, we're gonna give you one because we did this investigative reporting and exposed you guys. We're gonna do you a favor and make this Camilla one not so bad, so she doesn't look so bad. And that's what it feels like. So they could feel like, okay, well, we did some investigative reporting here, so we can give the royal family a break on this one. I mean, the documentary even talks about, oh, Camilla going from the most hated to now one of the most beloved. And I was like, literally, that they said that. Like, she's now beloved, apparently. And the funny thing is, because the UK people are all about polls, even their polls, their horrendous, ridiculous polls, Camilla is nowhere near the top of those polls. She's never been. So I'm like, beloved by who? Exactly, not the British people. Because even your right-wing ridiculous polls cannot manufacture support for Camilla. So the only people that love Camilla are her friends in the press. And apparently some of them, including the people at Channel 4. And it's just, the whole thing was just so ridiculous. I mean, a lot of the stuff they covered is stuff that everybody knows. There is not one thing that I heard in that docuseries or documentary, which was like about 45 minutes, that you haven't heard before. And again, they brought in the same people that said, and they just basically came and said the same thing they've said in another documentary. It's just, I mean, then they brought in stuff about Prince Harry. It's the same nonsense, the same, and it's just like exactly what this Guardian said. It's like, what was it for? Like, what was the point of the documentary? And it's one of those, Camilla from whatever to Wicked Stepmother with the question, of course, your channel doing this. So the answer would come out. She's now queen. So what do you expect them to surmise in the end? Oh, no, she's not. Yes, I know she had a bad points, but no, she's not. And then you have all these people who are Camilla's friends basically trying to convince you that Harry needs to move on. Now that she's queen, Harry needs to move on from his mother's death. And it's just like, come on, people. And so this is the way British press operate. Even a somewhat credible channel like Channel 4, which you expect so much more from. At least one shred of journalistic integrity, at least some shred of research about anything. And the thing about the overriding thing about the documentary is that it literally just brushed over everything. There is no depth to this at all. So if you're ever going to go see it, there's literally no depth. You have no idea the ins and outs about Camilla's relationship with Princess Diana because they never even mention it. They basically glossed over Princess Diana's book with Andrew Morton. Princess Diana was very specific in that book about what Camilla did to her. None of it was really discussed at all. It was just brushed over. Same thing with, we have no idea what some of the other things other than what's in Spare, that what her relationship was with Prince Harry. They hardly even mentioned Prince William. Other than the one story of her, people going to the press and telling the press that they're meeting. Nothing. So again, this is the kind of thing you see with the news outlet in the UK. Is on one hand, they'll give you this incredible investigative reporting that actual reporters did. And then on the other hand, because they want to maintain some kind of relationship with the palace, they'll throw in something like this. And then, of course, Camilla had her cancer, chest infection is the new cancer thing happening with her. Oh, I have a chest infection, so I'm not going to go to these events that I don't like. Oh, you mean they're going to honor me with a doctorate that I don't deserve? Oh, sure, my chest infection went away. And, oh, you mean this event is going to happen the same day as this documentary? Oh, I have a chest infection again. And it's just like, I'm telling you, the way how the royal family use these quote unquote illnesses should be studied, because I have never seen people do this before, where they use these like chest infection and cancer anytime there's anything bad. And the press just goes right along with it and nobody questions anything. I mean, shouldn't y'all be questioning how come her chest infection was fine when she was receiving of this fake doctorate thing and when doing her reading thing? And all of a sudden, she doesn't really care to go to this this event to honor, I think it's to honor elderly people in the arts. The money benefits them, and she apparently doesn't really like this event, and all of a sudden that mystery chest ailment or infection comes right back again. And again, she's an elderly person, so this could probably be true, but coming from them, I mean, right now with her, this quote unquote chest illness is like her version of cancer, because it has this convenience where it just serves her. When she doesn't want to do something, it's there, and when she does, it magically goes away. It's just incredible to me, and they're okay with that. Nobody says anything, and then next thing you know, it's Harry and Meghan did something. It's very funny to me. Terry says bought and paid, paid and bought by Camilla. I mean, unbelievable. And the most of what they talked about is her relationship with people in the press. I mean, Camilla, basically, she's best friends with just about all of them. So, including that chapel, the journalist chapel, I think it's called the journalist chapel or reporter chapel, whatever. It's this church that they all go to. And Camilla is the patron of this church. We talked about this, I think, a couple of years ago, with Camilla being the patron of this church, this journalist church that they all flock to. She's it's just like, it's ridiculous. So that's why you never ever will see anything bad about Camilla in the press. Not, other than the well-trodden path that people know about her, you're not gonna find anything, negative stuff, other than with Prince Harry or somebody like that. And it's funny to watch these reporters like, oh, Harry is wrong about this and Harry is wrong about that. And I'm like, so we're supposed to believe you, a paid mouthpiece, as opposed to believing someone's who's actually lived this life and who knows these people intimately and who's the victim of these people? We're supposed to believe you over him? It's just, again, the ridiculousness of this stuff is unbelievable. And I think the sad part of this is that the press go right along with it. Even people like you would think a supposedly credible news outlet like Channel 4. It was sad. It made me sad seeing that they're just the same. They're no different from ITV or the BBC or one of those, just going right along. So yeah. Very, very sad. But anyway, what else is going on? Staying with those two in the UK. Well, this came out last week. I kept meaning to talk about it, but other stuff was happening, so I just sort of pushed it off a little bit. The appalling costs of the coronation of King Charles has been revealed by UK government. It was an extravagance we simply didn't have to have. Well, yeah. There's a reason our squaddies called it the Coronation, because we knew while it was happening that they were conning the nation. That's why we labeled it the Coronation. We knew that as it was happening. So I'm not really sure why people in the UK are like, oh my gosh, it's shocking and it's appalling. Well, didn't you figure that out while it was happening? The Guardian, obscene anger over the cost of Charles's coronation revealed. And there's a little couple of clips from the article. It says the coronation of King Charles in May 2023 cost taxpayers at least £72 million. Official figures have revealed. The cost of policing the ceremony was $21.7 million, with further $50.3 million in costs racked up by the Department of Culture, Media and Sports. Republic, which is the Republic Group, which campaigns to replace the monarchy with an elected head of state and more democratic political system, described the coronation as an obscene waste of taxpayers' money. And this is Graham Smith talking, I would be very surprised if 72 million was the whole cost, the Republic CEO Graham Smith told The Guardian, as well as Home Office, and these are some of the costs, as well as Home Office policing, the DCM costs included in the figures. He said that the Ministry of Defense, Transport for London, fire brigades, the local councils all incurred costs related to the coronation, with other estimates putting total spend between 100 million and 250 million pounds, which is what I believe. I think the last time when we talked about this, we were estimating about 125 million, something like that. So 72 is low balling, honestly. That is a low ball. We don't want the British public to really scream at us. So let's just get the lowest figure that we can get away with putting out there that's what it costs. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Again, if you're a squatty, we all through this nonsense, we were talking about the ridiculous cost of a coronation that nobody asked for. You know, when you look at, I think it was the Dutch, who were they again? Was it the Dutch king, that Queen Marguerite, who abdicated and gave it to her son? Where are they from again? To tell you, ever since that ended, I haven't paid attention to them again. So I think they were Dutch king and queen or something like that, whatever. Queen Marguerite, wherever she's from, when she abdicated and her son and daughter-in-law took over and now they're king and queen, all they did was a little ceremony, the signing, a ceremony thing, and that was it. And they waved from a balcony. There was none of this nonsense. It cost the people very, very little. Nowhere near any of this nonsense. They had no coronation with coaches and all of that nonsense and carriages and gold carriages and all of that nonsense. None of this stuff. They were there all in that one building, sign it, passed over, wave at the balcony, and I think they probably had dinner or lunch or whatever it is. And that was that. Charles wanted this big thing and most likely cost the British people 100 million to 250 million pounds, somewhere in between there. On top of the fact that he's been fleecing the British taxpayers. And according to one of those reporters, they were claiming, apparently BBC were claiming that some of the cost was taken up by Prince Charles's duchy, which was false. So it was Peter Hunt was saying that, and he was calling on the British, on the BBC, to correct their narrative that Prince Charles was picking up some of the cost, because he didn't. All of this was on the taxpayers' back, and you would think British people would be like screaming about this, but they're just so apathetic. They're like, okay, whatever, moving on. We're just gonna go out and wave our flag when you tell us, because nobody has said anything, other than the few people like the Republic and others who are like screaming about it. The rest of the British people are like so trained into being like, okay, I guess we'll just go to a food bank now. That they're not saying a word. They're not saying a word about this. So yeah, it just, yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? You can't be more upset than they are. They're not upset about it. So yeah. But anyways, enough of the royal family and their nonsense. What else is happening? This is cool. We remember we talked about this a few episodes back, Oprah's favorite things. And one of the things that were on her favorites list was Tatcha. And obviously this body product that Meghan loves, and Meghan obviously sent to Oprah. And so obviously Oprah was like, yeah, this is my favorite thing, and it was sent to me by Meghan. And again, love that Meghan introduces Oprah to her some of these favorite things, and she's like, it never leaves my bathtub, so it's all around her bathtub now. And so it's really cool because Tatcha is getting a lot of play ever since the Oprah's favorite things. Meghan sent it to her. So Marie Claire, yesterday, they did a post about Tatcha. And obviously, we remember Marie Claire just did the whole interview with Meghan, the Thanksgiving interview with her as she was with the Welcome Project, the women meeting the women from Afghanistan to do the Thanksgiving dinner. And so Marie Claire yesterday did an article on Tatcha. It says Meghan has been raving about the Japanese beauty brand skincare and body products for years. And so this is what they wrote about it, and says, it should come as no surprise then that Markle has been obsessed with the same Japanese brand for years, Tatcha. Known for gentle but effective formulas that take inspiration from traditional geisha skincare routines, Markle has been using and recommending the line since 2014, long before she met Harry. At least. Luckily, 10 years later, all her favorite Tatcha products are on sale for Black Friday, starting with one of the longest running bestsellers, the Polish classic. And this is what Meghan says a while ago. She says, I really love Tatcha's rice enzyme powder, the mother of two, previously told earlier. It's just the sort of it's just sort of foams on your face and gives you a really subtle exfoliation. So this is apparently an Allure interview, which I have to go back and find the exact date that she did this. But it seemed that this interview with Allure was quite a while ago. It might have been back then when she had her, Meghan had her beauty website or lifestyle website, the TIG. So I'm assuming it was back then. And I mentioned the other day, I'd be very surprised if Meghan is not invested in Tatcha, because Tatcha is obviously, this is Vicky Tsai, the owner of Tatcha. Vicky is a friend, a great friend of Meghan, and now I'm assuming Harry. She was also in the Harry and Meghan docuseries. She was the friend that you can see there. She was in the docuseries talking about, talking, obviously, supporting Harry and Meghan. And also Daniel Martin, who is Meghan's bestie and makeup artist. He's also the global director of Tatcha and of artistry at Tatcha. So this is again, I would be surprised if Meghan isn't invested in Tatcha. Again, this is her friend. She's been using this product for so long. I think it's been around now for since 2009, something like that. But yeah, so it's really cool. And I mean, hello. Meghan has these friends that just, they have the most amazing products, and it's just so fantastic. So yeah. And so one of the reasons, again, with Meghan, anytime there's anything with Meghan and she's invested and she is just all in with a product, that there's something about that product that is who she is and what she is about. And so you can find this on Tatcha's website. It says, our purpose, believing that beauty begins in the heart and mind, we are invested in making quality education accessible to all. In 2014, we created the Beautiful Faces, Beautiful Futures Fund to keep girls in school, to reach their potential through Room to Read's girl education programs, and to bring diverse books to underserved communities in the United States through Room to Read through Room to Read Reads US literacy initiatives by the end of 2021. To date, our support has provided 6 million days of school for girls' education programs and will soon support the printing and distribution of 70,000 diverse books in the Bay Area with the U.S. Literacy Initiative. So, totally what Meghan is about, educating young girls and, and women. But if Meghan is so invested in something, this is a part of it, whether it's supporting women, supporting girls, something like that. And it's just, I'm like, oh, of course. And I didn't realize that until today. And I was like, well, of course. Because anytime Meghan is involved in something, there has to be something like this, or there usually is something like this involved. So yeah, it's just, yeah. It's really really great to see. So, but anyway, I'm gonna jump in the chat and yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Lorna says that Gwendolyn Kelly, sorry for the mix-up. Harry will be in New York for the event, and Meghan will be in Beverly Hills honoring Tyler on December 4th. Okay, so I guess they announced that it's gonna be separate. Okay, that's cool. Gwendolyn says People Magazine just says Harry and Meghan will have separate appointments next week, December 4th. Okay, there you go. So, or maybe did Harry and Meghan say it, or is just People Magazine assuming? Let's see. Lorna says, Daniel, that's true. Harry will be in New York for an event, and New York will be okay. So I guess it's being confirmed that they're doing separate things again. Oh well, that's sad. I was hoping that Harry would and Meghan he would probably just zoom in, and and they'll do Tyler together. So okay, well, all right, that's how they're doing it. So okay, I'm gonna hide my little disappointment, but that's fine. That is fine. Let's see. Uh Karen says the documentary makes no sense. They were still trying to clean her up. She and Charles took advantage of a innocent teenager and their youngest teenage son when they got rid of her and his wife. Then they got rid of her and his wife. I mean, it's the whole thing was a cleanup for Camilla. They throw in a little bit of, oh yeah, she wasn't all that, she didn't do such great things, but who does, who else, we're not all good all the time. That's the kind of vibe you get. But in the end of it, she's not a wicked stepmother. She's actually great. And that's kind of the vibe you get. And you're like, okay, whatever. So yeah. Disorganized says, I ordered Highbrow Hippie and received my order in 7 days. So they're working. Good. Awesome. So yeah. But as they said, they got, months worth of orders in 4 days. So I guess some people are still waiting on theirs. So yeah. Let's see. Joan says, Channel 4 would have had to send me a hefty check for me to watch anything about that woman. Well, I mean, I wanted to see it because, again, they did such a great investigative work with the other one. I was hoping, even though I was hoping that, I would be proven wrong. And because it's them, I was really, really, really hoping that I would be proven wrong. And it was sad to say that I wasn't, that they are just like the others. They would do one investigative thing and then it's like, okay, I will do one, but then I'm going to do one that makes you look good. And it's just like, seriously? And then you had the feeling of, you remember how they were with well, never mind. Moving on from them. I don't even want to sit there talking about them. It's just so frustrating. Moving on. Let's see. See what else you guys are saying. Going down. Khadija says, Jelly Roll has a great voice. Harry knows what he's doing when they introduce people. He does. And it's so funny. Jelly Roll, there's the big difference, right? Jelly Roll, I think it was at the CMAs recently, they asked him about, the little clip he did with Prince Harry, the promo thing he did with Prince Harry, and he talked about just how great Prince Harry was and what an incredible organization, the Invictus Games. I mean, he was just falling all over himself talking about the power of the Invictus Games. And then you think about that, here is Harry inviting him, to be a part of Invictus Games. And then you think back about Heidi Klum when she was with the Earthshot and she was on the red carpet and they asked her about the Earthshot. And Heidi Klum was like, well, actually, I never really heard about it until his people called me. And the difference is like, oh my goodness, night and day. And so you really see that, Harry and the Invictus Games are choosing people that really have a passion for what they're doing and know what they're doing and can relate to the people there. And then you look at William and it's like, literally on the red carpet, this woman is telling the world she never heard about and she know nothing about the Earthshot. And it's like, oh my goodness. And she's like, yes, I didn't know anything about it, but this is a great organization. I'm like, well, you didn't know anything about it until these people called you. And so, I'm assuming she would have learned a little along the way, but it was there for photos and it was there to, say, oh, I have Heidi Klum there. So yeah, very, very different. So yeah. And Karen says, you see Prince Harry call out Camilla and Charles and Spear, how they used him to clean up the images. So now the media did a documentary to show as if they called it out too. They want a stamp on it too. And I don't know how they can show that, because they literally just posted, they just literally showed a clip of Harry saying it. So it's just, there was no investigation into anything further. Literally, they just showed the clip. And that's why the Guardian article was saying that they just took clips off an editing floor and just slapped it together. And like, well, it's cheap, let's just call it a documentary. And it's just like, well, what was the point? Who were you talking to? What was the point? There was nothing new here. There's no investigation. So yeah, very, very ridiculous. So yeah. Uh let's see. Anything else before we end? Cookies and Cream says that ungodly family is trying to rewrite history in the same manner that vile family continually attack Meghan. They need to be relentlessly dragged nonstop on social media with receipts. Well, they are. They don't seem to care, because they know they have cover from the British press. So yeah, they don't care, and the people don't care, because they still go out there with their flag waving whenever the royals are doing stuff. So they don't care. They're just apathetic to all, or just sort of like, oh, well, I guess there's nothing we can do. And they don't really do anything. So yeah, that's where we are with that. So yes. Let's see. I think that's it. Glenn is like, yeah, go Harry and Serena. Yeah, I know. I hope they put them together. I hope that they that their segment is together, because they were so great when they did the segment with Better Up. So I hope that their segment is together, and that will be kind of cool. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a little bit. Thank you to our awesome moderators, even though some weren't here today, but that's okay. Lydia, Trishnelli, Karen M, Cookies and Cream, Black Queen, you are awesome as usual. Thank you to all of our 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis, and to all of you who support in the chat and come here and chat with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great day, everyone. Whatever it is you're doing, and I will chat with you next time. Bye.